Have I? Oh, there we go. Sorry.
So what did she say about the Super Kings?
They don't sell them anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, everybody.
Oh, hang on. Don't they come in blue? That is blue. Oh, it's original blue then. Sorry. I got like
All right. I want to talk about the government and its great assistance.
So it's all
Technically, I would say it's bullying. You'll have to let me know in comments.
Wow. Thank you.
It depends on your mind, right?
Yeah.
Some people
Okay,
believe
so don't have blue.
giving
Now,
a kid
JPS
smack
original
is
is
not
just
bullying.
all the colours.
You know what I mean? And so you let me know in comments what you believe of what I'm about to say. Now, when it comes to cigarettes, I've talked about in clips before about the government promoted cigarettes a long time ago when they were introduced to the people. The government made a lot of money, and they got to build things because of all that money that they made through taxes, through smokes. Then they decided that they wanted to bully control. What's bully control? It's a little bit like a parent telling you that you can't have this, can't have that, you've got to go have this band-aid on, you have to have this, you have to have that, when you don't really need to. It looks like you're going to get sick. Hey, I'm going to go get some antibiotics before you get sick, right? And if you hang around with that kid, I'm going to cut off your allowance and this and that and this, only because I've got a couple of opinions about that kid. I don't really know it. Things like that, that type of parenting, where they believe they're doing good for you, but they're actually harming you, right? A parent that keeps their kid inside all day because they believe everyone out there's nasty, and the kid grows up and has no connection to people, right? And things like that, where they believe they're helping you, but they actually ain't. And so I've talked about the cigarettes a few times before, and how the government tries to fix their problems by twisting stories. So they've gone from promoting cigarettes to downsizing cigarettes because of your health. So all this money making they're saying they're making all this money because they're doing it for you, right? And so it's like a parent that had these rules that I just said, and then every time she tried to go outside and do this and do that, she charged them $1, right? And you'll find that the person never had no money either, and the parent took that as well, right? And so this is a similar thing what the government's doing when it comes to cigarettes. Now, right now, they just changed. What did they change the cigarettes to? No menthols?
Yeah, I didn't get all of it. No menthol, and they're getting rid of all the colours. So now you can only get JPS original. Original will be blue, red, yellow, all the different colours.
Yeah, okay. So what they're doing is now they're limiting. Right, that's it, the now. When they decided to help the health, they decided to put up the cost. Even though inflation was heading up as well, and we're already in high inflation as well. They decided to help you, we'll put up the costs to force you to want to quit. But if you don't, it becomes a worse issue. So some people who quitted, say out of 110 quitted because of that idea, 90% of them, they made it worse. Or you can put it the other way, 90% quit, but they didn't. It's really what I'm talking about. Go check it out, right? See who's closest. That quit and the 10% get charged more. But it doesn't work like that. Definitely from the ones that started when it was promoted that you could have it, that you got free will, that you won't be extra charged because you want to have a cigarette, right? They first started off as long as you don't smoke around people. There's certain laws that I agree to that they can do and change. But then they went too far, right? They kept going, I want this outcome. Right? When you're a parent that goes, I just want this outcome and it's going to be this way, I'll force it this way, right? I'll take the allowance, I'll tell them I'll smack them, right? That's forcing, right? And as far as I'm concerned, governments don't need to do such things, but they do it all the time. They repeat, they force, and they bring in another dude to say it was his fault. It gets pretty ridiculous anyway, doesn't it? And get other people to fix their problems, and then they create their own other one, and so on and so on. It repeats. You get one good one to fix it, perhaps, and then another couple more idiots come in to repeat the story of the problem. And then it is. That's all. That's the best you can see when it comes to government systems, which is sad. And so what they've done now is they're changing flavours. So they're going up, well, those people that like menthol and used to menthol, well, they're just going to have to suffer now because we want them to do this. Right? Now, we've talked about other things. We make facades that we're going to go script and this and that. But we're going to shut down all these companies and make sure that they shut down because of loss of profit and not doing anymore. And then we'll bring out a script with what we believe only you can have on this list. A way of control. really a cigarette. You can have it with taste. If you're going to go script, that means more likely they got a script because they'll a cigarette smoker, and it can prove, and the doctor can check up their lungs to see how long roughly they've been smoking for, to get these scripts and stuff like that. That's a decent way to go about it, but it's just a little bit more work and stuff like that, a little bit more putting yourself into that area. And we know the government doesn't like doing that too much unless it's the same repeat. And the same repeat's an easy thing because they already know the script, and they're like, oh, nothing's happened. All I have to do is go in there and repeat myself again today. Cool, and then I'll go back on holidays, right? And so they're attacking us again with Super Kings. Now, I got Super Kings because trying to save some money, also trying to quit and all the rest of it as it goes, but more stresses when it comes to finance makes things quit less. Actually, a lot of people started smoking cigarettes because of finance. Hard to get work or stress room work, have to do overtime and stuff like that. And so I got Super Kings because I worked out, and a few other people did too, it's where I got the idea from, that you actually get a little bit more tobacco in for a couple of more bucks for a cigarette that's a little larger, right? And then you can have half cigarettes and stuff like that instead of a full cigarette, right? And then instead of doing that, because they're used to that half, they want them to go down even smaller now to do a half of that. They're pretty much forcing, but some people were lucky to even get to that. What you can end up doing is you'll end up making a person smoke a whole cigarette now, right? The work you think he's doing actually counteracts in a lot of other areas. It doesn't really work at all. History shows that. People talk to parents about that in parenting psychology and stuff like that, not to do certain things to your kids, and yet the government is doing it to their kids, right? Constantly. Let's keep going with this story. So then the government brings out vapes, right? And then creates a whole nother generation. So if they just did the right thing before the vapes, there'll be no problem, right? But they didn't. It's about money making, and money gets into their ears. And so money is about vapes. Oh, we can still sell it, and we'll do vape. And then, because it's all about money making, they rush in and stuff like that. Then they found out, after promoting that and all these kids getting on it and stuff like that, right? Then they found out that that's even worse or the same. So they didn't change anything. It's all about money, isn't it? You look at every step and you just want to laugh. You just go, are these people the what? Are these people the what? And so now they get rid of this choice, and then they're going to up the cigarette cost again. Cigarettes are like 3 to 4 times the cost of when I first started smoking cigarettes. And there's no need for that, right? They're not hard to make. They're more expensive here in Australia because they did more of that control, and they shut down a lot of jobs and got rid of tobacco picking, and we can't even sell it overseas. See, Australia's good at just rushing in, shutting down, think it's a good idea, shutting down, rushing in, money, shutting down. It's a joke. They really do not think. And they do all these things. They talk one thing over and over again in question time, these big things that they can't even solve. And then over here, they're shutting down all these other things, creating real big issues in the end. It's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? And they're allowed to do it because you're elected them in. So in the end, it's our fault, isn't it? People who don't smoke, they'll be like, oh, there you go, right? But what works in that sector, they'll do it in all other sectors. Soon they'll do it with oil, right? Soon they'll do it with food. And I'll go, suck shit. And you all can start complaining. Then I'll come out and go, but they did it with cigarettes. Why did you allow that? They promoted it. They made these addicted people. And then if they couldn't do with their own help, and some people got help, some people don't, right? But they can't help them all, right? They make yous do everything. And when they fuck up the arse, right, like spend 500 billion or more, right, on a fort, right, and get nowhere, well, no wonder. Where was that? Was that the smoke money? How much did they make in the smoke money? I say that all the time. You don't hear these kind of things, eh? We actually got from all these people who were trying to quit, we made their life harder, we got an extra 500 billion. And we decided to have a thought. Sorry about that. The thought didn't work out too well. What, the thought of ripping off people? What do you reckon? To make an outcome that's not righteous. To the Bible, that's not righteous at all. Yet they do it. Right? And so I didn't get Super King Smokes to smoke more. I got it to get a cheaper cost for the amount of smoke. Right?
Yeah, 20 packs small for $40 on.
Yeah, what a joke. $40. That's $2 a cigarette, everybody.
Yeah, and they're a lot smaller.
Mm.
So
And you know what the government could have done too? For a good change for health and cost you nothing, just tell the companies not to put chemicals in the cigarettes. Hey, Emma,
Yeah.
go more chop chop, right? And if you do put chemicals in there, they're healthy chemicals, right? They don't harm. You can bring it's like food type of chemicals, right? That are healthier, better than tar and some ridiculous shit that you hear about that they put into these things. That's the joke, hey? The government rather do it with money than attack the thing that's still giving them money. Right? They want to attack them, but then they go, nah, we rather attack the people more. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing. And they say they're there for you, but who are they really there for? Hey, Emma,
Thanks.
they didn't change the company. She's talking now, won't I? They didn't change the company or anything properly. They didn't even try a really more decent chop chop cigarette, which is just tobacco and more basic to see how people go. They know that people smoke this chop chop, that they rather have that than nothing, right? And then you whinge about chop chop illegal behind the scenes, the more standard, right? Because the illegal stuff, they don't usually add nothing to it, right? Have a whinge about that it's bad. And yet if you got the companies, you could have checked it out. That's what I keep saying about the government and about good parents. When they say, if you're going to do something bad, I'll give you all the wisdom. But why are you doing it? Yeah, call me. Let me know. Don't hide it. Because when it goes wrong or things go bad with that bad, I'm not going to know about it. And the asshole parents just missed out on that. You see people get overdoses, all these problems, because they can't go discuss it with their parents because they won't accept it. Right? You give them wisdom. You always tell them that you don't like what they do. Hopefully you help them out with what they talk about, why they're on it. That's what people always do. Some of them have more reasons than others. Instead of attack. You're not coming to the party now because you smell like cigarette. Attack.
Damn. Joker.
Yeah. Huh? Perhaps we can spray some deodorant on you. See, that's your family member, and you're saying that because you don't want to. Well, you could, when they rock up, see, I wouldn't say that to my family member because when they rock up and they didn't like to smoke, I'll rock up and I'll spray Glen 20 on them. All right? As long as I can spray some Glen 20 if you're a smoker, is that cool? Right? Or give you an extra pair of clothes because your clothes stink when you rock up. I'll have your clothes that you like but washed and kept at my place. Right? Wouldn't you rather have that option than them saying you're just not coming because you're a smoker?
Yeah.
Yeah. These are nasty. Where's the righteousness out there? It's dead. Dead and gone. Anyway, I thought I'd have a quick blab about that. You let me know what your thoughts are in comments when it comes to how can you... There's other many ways. I've already mentioned a few different ways that you can approach to do the same outcome. In fact, you could probably get a better outcome in certain other ways without charging all the money and being forceful. Right? By showing them what's right. You hear that old saying? You don't tell them, you just show them. Right? And instead of them copying, some people get jealous and rah, 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 and they get like that because they can't even copy. So that's where you get the problems with the countries overseas, the poor countries. They see us and they can't even do what we can do. And so they get upset and you create more problems. It's probably best they don't see. Right? Unless they get told that if they stick to this path now, you will get there. But they don't get that. They get that false facade like we do constantly from their governments. Oh, you're going to get there, and then they don't, and there's war again. You're going to get there, and then there's no one really backs up. People come in, they do the Vietnam kind of thing, like America did. That's what happened recently. What's the latest one of that? Iraq. Anyway, see you later.